Friends, I'm Boris. Today we are going to discuss about an Android app which is Watchlist. What it actually does is it creates a list for you having movies name, genre and its respective director. So we will do operations on it like update, delete, or creation of the adding list item to the Sqlite DB. So this is what basically Watchlist is. So let's go through the app first. What it does. So you can see we have sign up. Yeah, firstly it's user based. So we are having list for each and every users. Specifically, they have each and every users have their own list. So firstly, we'll sign up. Let's say we'll start with John Doe. Mhm. We are setting the email as john@mail. So user is successfully registered. So for creating the list, we have add to list button. Then let's say we are creating a movie. Iron. So let's add another movie. So we have added two movies to our list. Let's see our list. So here we have the list. So for updating this thing, we can simply click on it. Let's say we'll remove F only. Let's keep it John and simply update. So it's updated. Let's see our list right now. See, it's updated. Simply we are going to update this one. Let's say we'll keep Nolan only. And update. So we have seen how the update thing is working. So let's delete a list item from our list. So we click on it and we click on delete. So the list an item from the list is deleted. Let's see our list right now. So this is how the watch list works. So and for clear we have logout button. So we'll go back to this sign up and login page. So let's try login. So this is how all everything is works. See, we have one list in our cause we have deleted one more item from the list. So this is the list. So we are logging out of this watch list. So this is how the entire app works. Now we'll go through the depth of this code, how it's all implemented. So first let's go to so basically for implementing this page, this is the layout for it. We have a text view button and just like that. So it's basically this. Then we are going to the page. So for we have created we have used buttons. So here we have declared button over there. Then we have instantiated those button over there. So basically we have implemented set on click listener for each and every button we have for that page. So on clicking we are calling the intent, which on if we click on the login button it will go to the login page, or if we click on the sign up button it will go to the sign up page. So let's go to sign up page and let's see how it works. This is the layout for the sign up page. See, this is the layout. We have a text view for this watch list and everything. Then we have edit text for taking input from the user, and at the end of it we have a button for for processing all this data. So let's go and check the activity for this. So here we have declared everything there, and see, we are using shared preference, which I'll discuss shortly. And this is here we have instantiated those buttons, and we are implementing set on click listener for sign up page. See, here we have register user. Firstly, we are checking for the nulls or empty data entry for by the user. If it's there, it will raise a toast saying that the name cannot be empty, or password or respective placeholder will cannot be empty. On clearing all those things, we are going to the next stage, that is the register user. So here we have this page, this method register user. What is doing is we are actually calling this user repo method and passing this context, that is this class, and which I will discuss why we are doing it. And so, and then we are using placing this fetching this data from this edit text and placing in this user model. And once logged in, we are storing the email ID in our shared preferences. Why we are doing that, I'll discuss shortly. And then once done, we are raising a toast that is successfully registered. Then we are going back to the main activity, movie home activity. So now let's check our login page. Let's see the layout for the login page. So this is the login page. So here's the edit text, same text view and button. So there's nothing more to it, just the same as the sign up button. Login activity is just like that. Button, shared preferences. Yes, let's talk about the shared preferences, why we are doing it. As I said, we have created we are storing data as the user basis, like each and every user have their own list, it which is different from any other user. So we are storing the email ID of the user you're using shared preferences, which is globally stored, and we can fetch it anytime from any method we want. Sorry, actually, to be more specific, from any activity we want. So on the login page, once everything is clear, like whether the email is properly entered or not, or password is properly entered or not, we are calling this login data method. So once done, we are going to this part, which is user repo. For it is fetching the data, it will check the DB for the existence of this email or a password. If it's there, it will return a boolean that is true, and it will process this part, which is storing the value in the shared preferences, that is the email ID, and calling the movie home activity. So let's go to the Sqlite Db, what we are doing over here. Then we'll discuss about the later part. So firstly, in the user repo, what we have this thing, the table name, the table users, then the column we are creating in that table, everything is there. Before we go into this, let's check out this Sqlite user helper. So this is the Sqlite helper. We need this helper class for implementing Sqlite DB. So it extends the Sqlite open helper, and we have to, these are the mandatory methods we have to implement. One is on create and one is on upgrade. See, we are creating this table in this on create method, and we are dropping the table if it exists. So these are basic Sqlite commands. We are placing this in the string format, and then we are executing in the db.sql command, execute SQL command. So we have a table name as user, and we have a four columns, that is ID, name, email, and password, and one more mobile. Sorry, 5 columns. Yeah. So this is how the user helper class is declared. Now we are going to the user repo. What it does is, like, we have declared the static strings for each and everything. Then for inserting the data, we are calling this Sqlite DB. Then it is using this Sqlite helper, which we have declared here. That is this class and this class object. So we are getting the writable database, because we have to write this data into the Sqlite DB. So these are the values, the contain values. We are inserting the data from the user, that is which we are passing from this user repo, which we will sorry which we will call this method while registering. So let's see where we are calling this method. In the sign up activity, we are going back. Say, you will see we have declared user repo there. Then this user repo, see, here is the method user repo insert method, and then we are passing the user object. So this is how it's done. We are inserting the values. So it will fetch that values from the user model and then insert it into the Sqlite DB. That is a table name and values. Then we have to close this DB. Similarly, the check users, this method is used while registering to check if the user is already there or not. Then it will raise a toast that the user is already there. You cannot register with the mail you are entering. And then this is the login part. For the login part, check user string email and the password. Let's say this is the common query used for fetching this method. This is the important part to know, that is the cursor which we do db.query, and that it returns the value to the cursor. If we are checking if the cursor count to get count. If it's more than if it's there, then the user exists. If it's 0, then the user does not exist, then it will return a false and you cannot log in. So let's see where we are calling this method in the login activity. In the login activity, see, here is in this part, if part, we are returning boolean from this part, that is true and false, and it is we have placed this in the if part. If a user exists, then it will process this later part. Otherwise, it will go to this toast and say invalid email ID and password. So we are done with user registration and login. Let's go into this SQLite movie creation. So for that, we'll go to this movie home. So this is the layout for it. We have used card view. For card view, what you have to do is in this Gradle part, you have to declare this thing. Implementation of the com.android.support.cardview version, and this should match with your current SDK version. That is this part. You can check it from there. Sorry, APK version. And then let's go to this part. So this is how we are implementing. The card view is done like this, and the second one. So then we are placing the login button to it. So for card view, for click listener, we have to use ID. Okay, so you have to be careful about it. So let's go to this activity associated with this one. So here we have our on click listener. We declared everything here, and we have this on click listener for add to list, say list, and logout. Yeah, again short. During logout, we are clearing this shared preference mail. We are deleting the mail we are storing while logging in, and register we are deleting it from the shared preferences while logging out. So we are using shared preference as well here. So this is the thing. On add to list, if we click, we will go to the create list activity. That is this, and associated list XML is this one. So this is the XML we are using for create list activity. That is the 3 edit text and 1 button. That's it. So let's jump into this activity. Create list activity. Again, we are taking the shared preferences. Here we are fetching the value. We are not storing or deleting anything. We are just fetching the email ID, the user which logged in, because we are storing the data according to that user. So here we have instantiated those buttons, edit text, and everything. Then on while adding the let's go to this. If we click on this button, then it will post this data. That is this one. It will check for empty or blanks. Then it will go to the post data. And what it does is similar to the user thing. That is, we are calling movie repo. That is here is same as user. That is inserting the data and everything. Here we are using array list for fetching the data and the user associated with it. And then just like that, we are using movie model for storing the data, and then we are pushing it to inserting it in the DB. Once done, it will raise a toast that movie is listed. So this is the part. So this is how the movie is being listed to the SQL DB. Now let's go to the edit part. Edit part is like this. So basically, what is there is update by we are calling this update using the data and this email ID, and then we are calling for the delete, we are just deleting with the ID. That's it. It's as simple as that. Let's go to this part, movie repo. Here's this movie update. We are passing the movie model and the ID we are for updating this thing. We are also storing the ID while fetching the data which is from this array list. And then we are for deleting movie, we are just fetching the ID and passing it to the DB for deleting. That's it, as simple as that. So this is how the movie repo Sqlite is done. This is the user model, simple plain old Java objects for user and for movie. So this is what watchlist is. So hope you like this video, and I hope you enjoyed this whole tutorial. If you want to know it more elaborately, you can go down and check the link I'll post from there. You will get the entire code and everything. So friends, if you like this video, then click like and share. Thank you.